Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new edition of our online interview series. Today, we want to get an update from Torq Resources, and we have here Shawn Wallace, the CEO, and also Michael Henrichsen, the Chief Geologist. Hey, welcome, guys. How are you this morning?
Yeah,
Doing
good. Thank
great,
you.
thanks.
Thanks for having
Yourself?
us.
Yeah, super. Thanks for taking the time. I should also say I'm a shareholder of the company, just for disclosure reasons here upfront. And first of all, real congratulations on the great work you guys are doing, because you had two new discoveries at the Margarita IOCG project, and you had one is a new structure near Valor 13, and then the other one is the Cototuda target. I hope I said that correct.
Yeah.
So, first of all, the question to Shawn, what does that mean in the complete context for the company?
Yeah, I think this was a, a really important drill program for the company. It was our third program on what was a undrilled target when we acquired it, the
Mhm.
Margarita project. And sort of the first drill program, we made a discovery. The second drill program, we followed up on that discovery and gave some size and dimension, and that's of course to the Fia 13. And in that process, we sort of realized that there was other opportunities on the project. So the third program rather, was tailor made by Michael and his team to sort of really get in there and see if we could see the scale of what this project might be able to give.
Mhm.
And we've really got a good answer to that question here with that third drill program. We found a parallel structure to Fia 13, so that really gives us a lot of optimism of what can transpire in that area of the project. And then down to the south, we found a significant intercept of copper oxide mineralization. So, the project has given every drill program we go and do something, it gives us something of value. And so that's been fantastic for us. As
Mhm.
explorers, you really can't ask for more than that. Um, and I think we're going to be gaining the attention. What's important about this is I think the project will have now achieved enough technically that we're going to start attracting the attention of certainly mid-tier producing companies.
Okay, wow, that would be quite fast then. Fantastic. So, Michael, let's dive a little bit into, let's say, geology and the nature of the results. I mean, 42 meters with 1.1 gram gold, almost half a percent copper in a sulfide mineralization. That is already great, of course. But then you had also 132 meters with half a percent copper. Uh, I think it's amazing because it's quite shallow, right?
Indeed. I mean, I think the copper oxide story that's kind of starting to burgeon in the south of the project is all at surface, basically, or very near surface. So that's obviously hugely advantageous. All the mineralization that we've effectively discovered to date on the project, we believe starts within 20 meters of surface or on the surface. So that's a great starting point. I think the oxide that we're starting to realize, these long intercepts, 132 meters of, just shy of half a percent at Cototuda. I mean, this is these are the kinds of things that make money. If we can get some dimension to that, that's going to be really good news. And as Shawn said, we're starting to see the scale of what this opportunity is. Three drill programs, discoveries, or expanding discoveries on every single one. I fully anticipate going out for a fourth and having a great fourth drill program
Mhm.
when we start making these new discoveries, get dimensions to them. Now up at 513, this was an interesting scenario. There was a really clear contact, very shallow, but the subhorizontal contact between volcanics and intrusions where all the mineralization was.
Mhm.
And in this new discovery, what we found is mineralization at a deeper level, about 200 meters underneath that contact. So that's new, and to us, that's like a feeder. That's giving us more depth potential, not only at the new discovery, but at Fia 13 as well. And that's got about a 1.2 kilometer signature, that structure. So there's a lot of room here, a lot of dimension. And of course, we can never discount the mineralization that occurs at that flat contact, right? So for manto style mineralization like Manto Verde or Manto Blanco, I mean, this is kind of classic IOCG.
Mhm.
So I think what's really going on right now for the technical team is we're starting to feel okay, this is looking real. After three programs, we keep hitting new things. We're being surprised in some ways. Good surprises, obviously. And I think that's when you know a discovery is starting to get legs and you start to feel like, okay, this is going to turn into something.
Okay, super. Um, Shawn, when we look at the target area, you have Fala 13 West, Cototuda, Margarita Oxide, Fala 13 Northern Extension, Remolino. If we put the whole thing into a context, what would be, let's say, more the overall plan then with it?
Well, the overall plan is to figure out, really define it.
Hmm.
And obviously our grand plan, obviously for any asset as an explorer, is to, to move, to create enough value till some other company can't stand to see us own it anymore and they come along and buy it. And then we can go on and keep exploring. We're not miners, we're an exploration company. That's what we do. And, we do it well.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. You do it really well. um, Michael, question. I saw it. There is a map, Margarita 23 MAR 031R, the cross section. I see there in red the Manto target, and you have put down a hole like in an, I think it's like a, what is it, 60-degree angle maybe. So, what does it
Yeah.
mean with the Manto target and that you have drilled like underneath in that angle?
Well, ultimately, we were targeting a structure much higher up.
Aha.
There was a cross structure that we were targeting, and so that one was not mineralized, and we let it go into the parallel structure, which was. So that's why we hit it at deeper levels.
Hmm.
Now, that was very good for us because we realized, hey, mineralization occurs 200 meters deeper than we thought, with good grade
Hmm.
and still in an open pittable range. So I think that's the key. And what we got to do here is we got to follow it to the surface for one. And then once you hit that contact, I mean, it's proven itself time and again to be preferentially mineralized. So I have very high hopes that, at that contact at very shallow levels, that we'll see, good grades. And in fact, if you look at our new Cototuda discovery, where's that oxide sit? 132 meters, a 0.5%, right at the contact.
Hmm.
Same thing, shallow. So we're learning, right? We know there's some primary controls here, but I think most importantly in this drill program, we're starting to see depth extent
Hmm.
up at 513.
Okay, super. I think it was altogether 14 drill holes. Have you released all 14 now?
No, we have 7
Yeah.
pending right now.
Okay. When can we expect those?
Coming weeks. I mean, yeah, coming weeks. Lab's a little backed up, but we rushed some of our holes through,
Hmm.
because we had a good indication that they look good. So we are like, okay, let's get these out to market, right?
Okay.
So that's what we did.
So you had already a look at the core, right?
Well, it was all RC chips, right? But we can see it. You can see copper when it's there. You know.
Super. I love to see copper. That's great. Um, what would be next immediate steps? And let's say, what are your plans, let's say, for Q1 next year, Q2?
Well, I think immediate steps on Margarita is what's our fourth round of drilling going to look like? I think it's going to be a combination of things. It's going to be a combination of following up on the two discoveries that we've made. Let's give these things dimension, just like we did at 513 in the second phase. Let's get to the Margarita structural corridor where we had some really good intercepts, 62 meters of about 0.5% from surface, and then another 134 meters of 0.3, a little deeper in the hole. So we need to give dimension to these things, and that'll give a sense of scale. But I tell you, Johan, one thing that I know for sure is we have to keep drilling exploration
Hmm.
targets because when we do so, we find things. And I think that's what this project's really telling us right now.
Hmm.
Keep exploring
Yeah.
because it's going to get
Yeah.
better.
When could we expect a first resource estimate, or how many more holes you think you have to do? I know it's always hard to say, but just a guess.
Well, it sort of depends. You have to have all your exploration success first, right?
You have it. You show it already.
Yeah, no, I just think there's more to come.
Yeah.
Look, I think at the end of the fourth phase, if we get enough meters into these bodies, we would be in a position to potentially put one out. I think what's more likely though is we're going to continue to find things. And when we do put out that first resource, it'll be bigger than the scale that we see now, which is already impressive. But I just really want to keep exploring this thing because it's delivering, right? And it's a rare thing, as you know. I mean, 3 phases of drilling. Every time you go out, it looks good. That's what we're all after
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. That's also what we are all after.
Yeah.
Definitely. Shawn, let's come back to the company itself. What is the financial situation? Are you fine for the next drill program? Any changes in major shareholders or new major shareholders?
No, I think we did a financing last year. We added some institutional shareholders, so that was nice. The company's finally reached a stage where it can attract that sort of investor. Goldfields is still an investor, so that was our one investor of note.
Hmm.
As you recall, about just about a year ago
Yep.
now, they put in $15 million at a nice premium. But to speak to current moment, we have about $3.8 million in the treasury. That's not going to get it done in terms of going back out and drilling. And if we don't want to forget the fact that is as wonderful as Margarita is, and we're loving it very much at the moment. We've also got Santa Cecilia that needs to be worked on. So that will be the next thing we do. So we're going to need to do some financing between Santa Cecilia and getting back at Margarita again. So we'll go to the financial markets. We've got a good track record of accessing the capital markets, albeit these are probably some of the most challenging times, and I don't think that's a secret to anyone out here listening to this right now. If you're paying attention to this space at all, you can have empathy for how challenging it is for us folk doing this stuff right now. But that's okay. Nobody ever said it was going to be easy, and what Mike and I take solace in the fact is that our projects just continue to outperform, frankly, our what we had expected from them. So,
Hmm.
there's lots of good things to hang on here to as we go into the future, and a lot of value for us to create, and a lot of opportunities because of this disconnect between share price and what's the fundamentally happening for the company.
Hmm.
The value proposition's never been better for Torq than it is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also I was just with Michael upfront talking about Freeport McMoran today said no more billion-dollar projects by now with that copper price. So that is always for me a signal that, oh, we are nearing the bottom because when the big boys stop to develop and we know we need that copper in the future, I mean, the markets are very clear. Yeah. And if we want to have a 40, 50 million ton market per year by 2040, as BHP and Glencore, for example, said in a study, it has to come from somewhere, right?
It does indeed. It does indeed. I don't think, people stop building mines. And sorry, I didn't read that article where they're saying that it was a no more $1 billion
Yeah,
capex
this
mining.
morning it was.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't build any sort of big open pit copper mine of significance for less than $1 billion. I don't think you've been able to do that for 20 years. The capex on these big daddies are always over, over that
Mm.
number. And I think the the actual number would be quite inflated from there, and frankly, to do a 200,000 ton a day or big open
Yeah.
pit. Um, so all that's going to do if people stop developing those mines is spring load the copper price
Mm.
to continue to ascend, because the demand sure isn't going away.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Super. So I would say we look forward to your next 7 holes, if I got that correct. Yeah. And within the next weeks. And thanks for your time. Great update. And I would say keep it going because every time you hit the ground, you get fantastic results out. So that's exactly what we want to see in an exploration, right?
Indeed.
Succeeding it,
Super.
indeed.
Perfect. Shawn, Michael, thank you very much for your time. And as said, keep us posted, please. And we talk after the next 7 holes, I would say, latest.
Perfect.
All
Super.
right.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Shawn Wallace, the CEO of Torq Resources, and Michael Henrichsen, the chief geologist of Torq Resources. And you heard it again, the third drill program here, the third phase, really running extremely well. The first 7 holes were released. Fantastic results, really great, also from surface. And it looks like that this thing is really growing. It is adding value. It is adding quality. That is also very important. And we talk about copper and gold, two metals we really need in the future, we really want to have in the future. And yeah, we look forward to the next results. The company still has over $3.8 million in the bank. That is great. And good plans for next year. So we talk soon. Check out Torq Resources. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland today.